Hi there again. How are you? And well, today we're going to have a look at chapter 6. That's the past perfect simple and obviously again the continuous of the past perfect. Okay? And as usual, the structure, if you have any doubts, you can find the structure on pages 124, 125. Well, let's see. Do you remember everything about present perfect and present perfect continuous? Okay, we just studied that. So, well, they are the same rules, but with one step backward. That's it. The same rules. So, I would recommend that you watch the present perfect video before this, so you refresh your ideas about present perfect. I have some visual representations. These, do you think, do they look familiar? They represent what? Yeah, that's right. This is present perfect and present perfect continuous. Okay, as you can see, if we talk about past perfect, it is exactly the same, past perfect simple. It's exactly the same as this, but be careful, it's one step back. It is like we put the time back. Whatever was in that moment, when it was that moment, it was now. We used present perfect, but that moment is gone. It's not now anymore. So then we use past perfect. The same with present perfect continuous. Okay, this was whenever you used present perfect continuous in here, when this was now, now we use past perfect continuous. Okay, these are the visual representations of past perfect and past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous. Okay, but let's see. And that's why, because of that idea of one step back, we usually see this tense with expressions that mean before one moment. Any expression that means before one moment. For example, just before, or by then. By then means before that moment. By 10 o'clock. By 10 o'clock means before 10 o'clock. When I got there, whatever happened before I got there, etc., etc. Any idea, not necessarily words or expressions, but any idea that involves that something happened before one moment. Okay? But let's see that in detail. Okay? Let's start with the past perfect simple. Only past perfect. For example, I had just completed the exam. I felt relieved. There you are. This is the moment in the past when I felt relieved, and something that had happened before is in past perfect. Okay? It's like in imagine that the moment of feeling relieved is now. I am relieved. I have just completed the exam. Okay, it's the same. It would be the same rule. Or for example, he called me this morning, but I had already left. Okay, the moment of leaving happens before the moment of calling. Or the thief had escaped before I called the police. When I called the police, that already happened. Okay? Or we had calmed down by the time they came. Okay, you see, by the time, before, etc. Um, when the police came, that already happened. And as you can see, sometimes there is not a big difference between simple past and past perfect. Okay, for example, I went inside before I took off my coat. Okay, simple past, simple past. But you can also say I had gone instead of I went. I had gone inside before I took off my coat. They are very, very similar in meaning. It's just that here we want to emphasize that before this moment, this already happened. We connect both actions. But here, it is simple past, consecutive actions in the past. That's it. But the meaning doesn't really change a lot. And what about the continuous? Well, if you remember present perfect continuous, this shouldn't be a big problem. For example, have a look. She had been studying all night. Her eyes were red. Okay? The moment I see her, when I saw her, her eyes were red. Why? Because recently she had been studying. That idea, remember, of repeatedly, constantly, we want to emphasize the length of the action. Remember that? That's why she had been studying. Because you can also say she had studied all night. Her eyes were red. Yes, but we remember with the continuous we want to emphasize the constantly, repeatedly doing something. We want to emphasize the length. Or have a look here. She had been working for 9 hours by the time she went home. Okay, you see how we emphasize the idea of long hours of work. If you say she had worked for 9 hours by the time she went home, it's just we're just mentioning what happened before, but not how important it was doing it for so long. Okay. Or have a look at this. He had been watering the plants. What's the difference between he had been watering the plants and he had watered the plants? Can you feel a difference? Think a little bit. Well, as you can see, if you say he had watered the plants, we just state that when I got there and I saw the plants, they had been watered. The plants. I don't need to water the plants because it's the job is already finished. Okay, but when did he do it? I don't know. Maybe a few minutes ago, maybe hours ago, but I see the result in the present. Okay, but if I say he had been watering the plants, so that means that when I got home and I saw the plants, and I don't need to water the plants because the job is done. If I choose to say it this way, what I really mean and want to transmit is that it's been not long ago. It's been very, very recent, the event, very close to the moment I get to the place. Okay? And that's all, folks. That was quick, okay? Remember, please, to go immediately and practice with the page, grammar practice, okay? Have a nice one. Goodbye.